Welcome to the Empathy Tour, the Moral Compass podcast. My name is David Clayton. I'll be your host. I wish these were better times for all of us, spreading messages of inspiration, lifting each other up. But now in these dark times is where we really have to lift each other up. We have to stand together. I've often said stronger together, together stronger, and that's absolutely true. These times are foreshadowed upon our lands. My great-grandfather was a rear admiral in the United States Navy, commanding part of the Pacific Fleet during World War II. He was a self-proclaimed Antifa. Of course, everyone knows, but for those that don't, Antifa stands for anti-fascist. Unfortunately, if he were alive today, he would be ready to take up arms. I'm glad he isn't here today. Many people have commented on my TikTok posts saying my World War II veteran father, grandparent, grandmother would be crying from the heavens right now. And I disagree. All of those hard as nails, actual patriots would be screaming at us to get up and fight back. They're not crying. They're pissed off. So I want to talk about hope in these dark, dark days. And I'm going to continue making these podcasts because as we are seeing within the first 24 hours of the Trump regime dictatorship, even social media has been co-opted and they are silencing us one by one. So these podcasts are going to be the only form of free America radio that we have left to voice our dissent against the occupying forces. I appreciate you joining me on this journey, and I appreciate any and all support. I do plan on running for Congress in the 2026 cycle in North Carolina. Once I have established one-year residency per the North Carolina Constitution, I will be putting forth a donation site that is transparent and is legitimate. I do have to wait for that one-year residency to be able to petition to run as an independent in North Carolina. I'm running as an independent because this area is predominantly red, and the majority of the red only vote for Virginia Foxx, the current representative, because it's a force of habit, and they don't even really like her much, and she's going on 200 years old. A lot of us have much more in common than what separates us, and I aim to bring those topics front and center to this very red base as an independent. But I will maintain always, as my mother's son, my Democrat progressive principles. Because truly Democrat progressive principles, when we have actual representatives within the Democrat Party, not the ones that are beholden to their stock portfolios or their donor class, but when we have actual, real representatives in the Democrat Party, they put forth things that actually help the people, all Americans, not just Democrats. I have, of course, all of my social medias, as much as I can't stand Zuckerberg and his oligarchy ways. I must be everywhere, as I do plan on running. Official Empathy Tour on Instagram and Threads, empathytour.bsky.social on Blue Sky, and Empathy Tour dash the Moral Compass podcast on YouTube. I will also be starting up a Patreon for additional support, and of course in my bios of all my social medias, I have my direct.me/empathy tour link where you can find any source to be able to contribute and help my cause for all of us. I want to be very, very clear about something. One of the reasons we are where we are today is because the Democrat Party as a whole has failed us. The buck stops at the top. I cheered on Biden for his accomplishments the past 4 years. I truly believe he saved us from a complete ruination from Trump's previous term. But the buck does stop at the top. He is the commander-in-chief, or he was the commander-in-chief, and Garland was his responsibility, as was our justice system, holding Trump accountable, and the entire system failed. The buck stops at the top. I hold Biden responsible. I thank him for his service over his lifetime, and I thank him for his last 4 years. But the last year of his presidency, Trump should have been locked up. And that's on Biden. I'm sorry, Mr. President. That is on you. I will be an open voice for all Americans that are sick and tired of the status quo in our political system. We used to be a nation not ruled by party, but by true bipartisan means that accomplished goals to better the country for every American. When I was honored to go and speak with Governor Tim Walz, the one question I wanted to ask him was, how best can we get back to red, white, and blue? Because all or nothing, one side or the other, is accomplishing nothing and leading us into these dark days where we are today with this Trump dictatorship regime. And I think you'll find that there are many more Americans that feel the way I do, even if they still vote Republican or they still vote Democrat only. Many of us are so desperate to be like the rest of the modernized world, where they have 10, 12, 15 different parties to choose from, because this two-party duopoly has led us to where we are today, along with this uncontrolled, unregulated, oligarchical, capitalist society. We need to get back to our roots and still be able to move forward to protect and identify everyone and recognize everyone as the people they are. From trans to the LGBTQIA to the black communities to the Latin communities to the Middle Eastern communities, all contribute to this nation. We are not a white nation. We are a nation living on stolen lands by the indigenous, who suffered horrendous atrocities at white people's hands. And that's a historical fact. And the only way we can make ourselves better as a nation is to recognize, vocalize atrocities and wrongs that we have done in the past, to be able to ensure remedies to move forward in the future. I love this country, and it breaks my heart where it's heading, but it also ignites a flame within me that just makes me want to fight for it more. I hope all of you will fight alongside me. Always thankful, always grateful. Stronger together, together stronger.